started when he catapulted the Philippine National Police to one of its highest public approval ratings in history. Not only did he restore the PNP to its glory days, his stint as chief PNP also sparked a grueling yet worthwhile uphill climb for this man from Imos, Cavite. During his 2 consecutive terms as a senator, he had consistently not availed his annual 200 million pesos priority development assistance fund entitlement, commonly known as Port Barrel, as part of his study crusade against graft and corruption. He served as chairman of the Senate Committee on National Defense, Committee on Civil Service and Government Reorganization, Committee on Ethics, and the Committee on Accounts. His legislative record is packed with significant laws that he authored and sponsored, which includes, among others, Republic Act 9485, Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007, Republic Act number 10167, an act to further strengthen the anti-money laundering law, Republic Act 10354, an act providing for a national policy on responsible parenthood and reproductive health, Republic Act number 9416, Anti-Cheating Act of 2007. In the aftermath of Super Typhoon Yolanda that caused widespread destruction, damage, and death in central Philippines, President Benigno S. Aquino III appointed him as Presidential Assistant for Rehabilitation and Recovery with a mandate of unifying the rehabilitation and recovery efforts of government and other agencies. As the overall manager and coordinator, his office crafted the comprehensive rehabilitation and recovery plan with a 167 billion pesos proposed funding, which provides for an overall strategic vision and integrated programs in the Yolanda-affected areas. His efforts in the Yolanda rehabilitation lead to the institutionalization of essential mechanisms on rehabilitation of calamity-affected communities. As the 2016 national election comes near, there is a growing clamor in the country's search for a leader with integrity, discipline, and competence. Amidst the crucial events and circumstances that have shaken and have caused grief and anxiety to our nation, his name stamped with decisive public service reputation resonates as somebody who can serve the needs and the greater interest of the Filipino people. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all give warm welcome to Honorable Panfilo M. Lacson.
Please take your seats. Thank you very much, President Pao, for that kind introduction. I came from Tacloban last night, attending another induction, and I learned something from the Tacloban newly elected or newly inducted president, President Malcolm. He said, the urge to become a Rotary Club president is the same urge to become a past president. Tama ba yun, Bob? Nagsiset in na yung urge to become a past president. A former Japanese ambassador to the Philippines once told me that there are three most common yet biggest lies on earth. The first lie is when a Japanese lover tells you that he is more romantic than a French man. The second lie is when an American tenant tells his landlord that the check is in the mail. And the third, and the biggest lie of them all, is when a Filipino politician tells you that he's about to deliver a short speech. Levity aside, I'm going to deliver a 15, 16, maybe 17-minute speech tonight. Meron po ako manuscript para time-bound. Because I'd rather be remembered not as a politician, but a public servant.
Yeah.
Governor Pepe, you found another friend in me.
Thank you.
Incoming District Governor Dindo, past District Governor Dennis, past District Governor Ray, of course, Deputy District Governor Angie, my fellow Rotarians, other visiting Rotarians, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Whenever I'm invited to speak before men and women of great virtues, I cannot help but share a relevant message from an Indian sage named Ramana Maharshi. And I quote, "Our own self-realization is the greatest service we can render the world." Unquote. Undoubtedly, the Rotary Club of Biñan has significant opportunities in effecting change to the country and ultimately to the world through a committed group of service-driven individuals. The very fundamentals of Rotary, truth and fairness, selfless service, and faithful friendship and fellowship have defined the theme of this gathering, "Be a Gift to the World." To the newly inducted officers of Rotary Club of Biñan, to be a gift to the world is a challenge you shall behold in your term of office. You are to live up with the legacy of Rotary and its selfless service to the community, and most importantly, further the breadth and depth of your organization's noble cause. I look up to Rotary's ethical guide in carrying out these efforts, known as the four-way test. In everything we do, say, or act, we shall test ourselves and resolve 4 questions. Of course, everybody knows this. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? We may have differences on certain issues, political, ideological, and whatever else. But I'm quite certain we're all in pursuit of accountability and transparency, integrity, and good governance. Let us take into account the very recent and prevalent issues that plague our national budget, the very lifeblood of our country's economic well-being, if not the country itself. Tonight, let me share with you 3 issues affecting our common aspiration. Ito ay ang makitang ang bawat Pilipino ay namumuhay na mapayapa, masagana, at may dangal. Ang aking tatalakayin ay nauna nang diniklarang labag sa saligang batas ng ating kataas-taasang hukuman noon lamang sa taon, Hulyo 1, 2014. Subalit, pilit na binubuhay ng ilang mga magagaling at tusong tao sa gobyerno. Pinagkakatago-tago, pinagkakatanggi-tanggi, pero pinagtyagaan at pinaghirapang hinanap kaya nakita pa rin namin. Ang tatlong usapan na ito o usapin na ito ay ang Priority Development Assistance Fund or Pork Barrel, DAP, Disbursement Acceleration Program, at NBC 541, National Budget Circular 541. Unahin natin ang usaping pork barrel. Mula sa usapang Janet Lim Napoles, maaring mulat na ang karamihan sa atin na naririto ngayon sa mga anomalyang na-discover ukol sa luma at bagong anyo ng pork barrel sa ating mga nakaraan at kasalukuyang national budget o kaban ng bayan. In consonance to Rotary's dictum, you may dare ask, is it the truth? To this, I will answer in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, and I quote, even if you are a minority of one, the truth is the truth. I come to you with the strongest conviction that when I learned about the dirty pork more than a decade ago, when I was yet a neophyte legislator, I was a minority of one. Yet, I maintained my strong pronouncement and stood my ground against the PDAP. Proof of this is my scathing privilege speech entitled Living Without Pork on March 11, 2003. Please take note, 2003. In that speech, I called for the scrapping of the pork barrel system, which I consider then and now as a very corrupt and corrupting system in our political institutions. My senior colleagues listened. In fact, there was deafening silence on the Senate floor as I was delivering that privileged speech. But nobody cared. As soon as I ended my speech with the usual, thank you, Mr. Senate President, I am now ready for interpellations, then Senate President Drilon banged the gavel and suspended the session, resumed, and immediately thereafter adjourned. No interpellations, no referral to an appropriate Senate committee, which could have conducted public hearings. In short, no resolution on the arguments that I posted in my privileged speech. Had my colleagues heeded my call to abolish the pork barrel system more than 12 years ago, wala sigurong nakakulong na 3 senador at ilan pang mga opisyal ng gobyerno ngayon. Higit sa lahat, malamang walang naaksayang bilyong-bilyong piso sa kaban ng bayan. If the pork barrel story is another foresight, I once again press an alarming question. Has pork really left us? Our scrutiny of the 2015 national budget gives us the resounding truth. The unconstitutional Priority Development Assistance Fund, or pork barrel, has never left and appears to have no intention to ever do, no matter how much we keep on opposing it. To prove my point, in the 2015 Department of Agriculture budget, its total appropriations amount to 39 billion pesos. Of this amount, we found out that about 6.25 billion pesos are lump sum appropriations for the repair, rehabilitation, and construction of farm-to-market roads in designated, some congressmen call this farm-to-pocket roads, in designated key areas allocated to the regional offices of the Department of Agriculture. Nang sinuri namin ang regular na pinagdadaanan ng budget process mula sa tinatawag na National Expenditure Program o yung President's Budget na isinumite sa House of Representatives para pag-aralan at pusisiin. Pagkatapos ay pinasa sa Senado para muling pagdebatehan at amyendahan. Hindi naman nagalaw ang 6.25 billion pesos sa budget ng Department of Agriculture. Ngunit, laking gulat namin nang biglang sa naipasang General Appropriations Act sa 2015 na walang parang bula ang 6.25 billion na regional allocations at napalitan ito ng tinatag na parang lechong baboy para maging 1,389 line budget items para sa farm-to-market projects o road projects sa iba't ibang parte ng kapuluan. Ang masama, nang hinanap namin ang naturang mga proyekto, ang mga ito ay inako na ng mga kongresista at hindi na sa mga regional offices ng Department of Agriculture. What gives? Na magic nila para maging pork barrel kahit nauna na itong diniklarang unconstitutional ng Korte Suprema ng July 1, 2014. Habang pinagkakatago-tago at tinatanggi nila ang PDAP, hindi kami tumitigil sa kahahanap. I tell you, we have collated substantial pieces of evidence, specifically documents, transcripts, and photographs that will prove our claim that pork barrel is very much alive and kicking. This is the truth, and I shall stand by and for it. Everyone in this hall would understand my cause when I ask the second Rotary test. Hence, are these anomalous mechanisms fair to all concerned? Mula sa lantad na mekanismo ng iilang makakapalang mukha sa gobyerno upang mapanatili ang pork barrel, hindi ba't marapat lamang na tumindig tayo upang labanan ang panglulokong ito? We have further breakthroughs on how those in power have tried so hard to circumvent the Supreme Court decisions. Our scrutiny led us to a very appalling discovery. The Unconstitutional Disbursement Acceleration Program, or DAP, and the National Budget Circular 541 remain to breathe down our necks. How could this happen? 4 years back, on October 12, 2011 to be exact, the Aquino administration orchestrated the Disbursement Acceleration Program, which according to them was meant to accelerate government spending and push forth economic growth. The Department of Budget and Management then issued National Budget Circular 541 on July 18, 2012, which gave the DBM the authority to pool and declare as savings unobligated, unutilized, and unreleased appropriations, not at the end of the fiscal year, but the second quarter. However, on July 1, 2014, the Supreme Court, as it did on the PDAP, declared both NBC 541 and DAP as unconstitutional. On what grounds? First, the Supreme Court said that you cannot shorten the validity period of the fund allocation for less than one fiscal year. Well, this is logical. Paano ka nga naman magkakaroon ng savings kung hindi pa tapos ang panahon kung saan nakalaan ang iyong pondo? Second, the Supreme Court stated that the cross-border transfer is not allowed. Sa simpleng salita, ang savings ng executive ay hindi maaaring ilipat sa legislative at judicial branches ng government. In the same manner, ang savings ng legislative at judicial branches ay hindi rin maaaring ilipat sa executive. Third, hindi rin pinapayagan ang pag-implementa ng mga projects, activities, and programs or PAPs na wala sa naaprubang General Appropriations Act. Kung wala sa naipasang batas, walang basihan para pondohan. Fourth, hindi maaaring gamitin ang non-program funds hanggat hindi nahihigtan o nalalampasan ang itinalagang target revenue collection ng ating pamahalaan. Isa pang katanungan ay maaari ba itong gawin ng mga heads ng mga agencies? Ang kasagutan po ay nakasulat sa resolusyon ng Korte Suprema at siya ring nakasaad sa provision ng 1987 Constitution kung saan sinasabi na ang Presidente, Senate President, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and heads of the Constitutional Commissions lamang ang maaaring maglipat ng appropriations to augment any item in their respective offices. Kung mayroon pong savings ang ibang items sa kanilang mga budget. Makikita natin na ganoon na lamang nila sinasalaula ang definition ng savings. Kung kaya't pati ito ay namamanipula at naabuso sa ating taon ng budget. As a background, in all the General Appropriations Acts from 2002 to 2014, the term savings refers to the portions or balances of any program appropriations in this act, free from any obligations or encumbrances. To show the propensity of this administration to push for things that they feel would help their cause, no matter how tenuous it may seem, the meaning of savings in Section 70 of the 2015 General Appropriations Act was drastically redefined for the first time in many years. Those who think ahead may say this was intentional to justify the creation of artificial savings. Magtungo naman tayo sa mga maanumalyang realignment ng funds na nakalapit sa 2015 national budget. Section 73 of the 2015 General Appropriations Act provides that 1. Shortening of the validity period of funds. 2. Realignment, reprioritization of items of expenditure. 3. Resurrection and approval of the Unconstitutional Development Acceleration Program. Hindi natin dapat payagan ito. Kaya nga, dudulog kami sa Korte Suprema para hadlangan ito sa pamamagitan ng isang petition for certiorari and prohibition anumang araw mula ngayon. Gamitin nating halimbawa ang isa lamang sa mga nakita naming mga realignments na ginawa ng Department of Health sa capital outlay, funding allocation para sa mga ospital sa bansa sa ilalim ng 2015 General Appropriations Act. Ayon sa naipasang General Appropriations Act, ang Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital and Medical Center sa Batak, Ilocos Norte ay mayroong pondong 171 million pesos. We discovered that the approved budget was reduced by 112,966,427 pesos, thus reducing it to 58,033,573 pesos. Kung saan kaya dadalhin ang pondong tinaltas sa proyektong ito? Nakita na rin namin po ito. Pero ang mas mahalaga, bawal ito at taliwas sa naging huling ruling o naging ruling ng Korte Suprema at lalong bawal dahil labag ito sa saligang batas ng Pilipinas. Another example is the augmentation being done by the Department of Health. There is no budget appropriation for the item Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, Muntinlupa City, in the approved GAA for this year. However, the Department of Health augmented a total of 75 million pesos for this project. Ano kaya ang nangyari? Alam na rin po namin, pero mas mahalaga ulit, bawal din ito at hindi naaayon sa saligang batas bukod pa sa tinuran ko ng kaninang ruling ng Korte Suprema. Needless to say, mistulang na na-reincarnate ang pamamarang ito, pulling artificial savings not at the end of the fiscal year of 2015, but at the middle of the year or June 15, 2015, as stated in a memorandum circular issued by DOH. Kaya, maaari pang kasuhan ng technical malversation at violation ng Republic Act 3019 or Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act ang may mga kagagawa nito. Hence, it is only right to ask of the government the third Rotary's test. Will these budget modifications build goodwill and better friendship? Those who are behind these manipulations seem to have taken a delusional view on the concept of building goodwill and better friendships. Rather than a noble call of service, it looks like those who have control over the national budget glory at their position in order to preserve personal interests and to favor the few. Ito lang ang masasabi ko sa mga nasa likod ng mga anomalya sa gobyerno. May katapusan ang katiwalian. Mahuhuli natin sila dahil basta kalokohan at katiwalian, walang forever. We say that the function of government is to secure the rights of all its citizens. So it will be equally important to ask the fourth Rotary test. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? My fellow Rotarians, as I go on pounding questions and seeking answers to uphold the integrity of every Filipino, I am making this simple call to you. Live up to the Rotary's principles. Let us challenge ourselves to take active part in every pivotal issue in the society to pursue our commitment to our service to our fellow countrymen. Most importantly, let us translate this four-way test in realizing our personal mission to be of service to others and to be a gift to the world. Come 2016, we have the power to press and reset the button to change our life, change how our life should be. As the horizon stretches before us, we have the chance to make a difference, to make a mark that would serve as a gift to our subsequent generations. Pero hanggang patuloy nating niluluklok sa poder ng kapangyarihan ang mga hindi nagsasawa sa pagpapasasa sa kaban ng bayan na galing sa patak ng ating pawis, ay wala akong nakikitang pagbabago kahit sa mga susunod pang saling lahi. Gagalitin ko kayo ng kaunti. Marahil ay dahil na rin sa ating mahabang panahon na pagwawalang bahala. Bawat isang Pilipino na may edad 15 pataas ay may pagkakautang na mahigit 79,000 piso. Habang ang bawat Pilipino, kasama na ang sanggol na kasisilang lamang kanina, ay may dapat bayaran na mahigit 60,000 piso para ma-wipe out ang 6.2 trillion na pisong pagkakautang ng bansang Pilipinas. Ang itanong natin sa sarili natin, meron ba tayong naging personal na pakinabang dito? O baka naman nagkautang tayo dahil sa kasipaan sa pera ng mga dinadakila pamandin natin na magigiting at mararangal dahil binoboto natin tuwinang may halalan. I could not think of a better way to end my message this evening than leaving you with a simple quote from former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, quote, "This country will not be a good place for any of us to live in unless we make it a good place for all of us to live in." Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang Rotary.